The chair of the Oregon State Senate Judiciary Committee refused to allow John Lott, a frequent guest on our program, the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, to speak as an expert for the Republicans at a hearing last week on a Democratic-backed gun bill. Democratic State Senator Floyd Poransky, chair of the Oregon State Senate Judiciary Committee, wrote in an email to Republican State Senator Dennis Linthicum, quote, after reviewing the following articles, and they were from places like Media Matters, Left Wing, I do not feel comfortable having Mr. Lott as part of the invited testimony during the informational hearing on SB 348, end of quote. Harump, harump, harump. But Lott was able to speak at the part of the public portion. And no wonder the Democrat did not want him to speak. Here is what Lott said.
John.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Senator Poransky, and I'd like to thank Senator Linthicum for inviting me. I'm giving my background. I'm president of the Crime Prevention Research Center. I've been senior advisor for research and statistics in the U.S. Department of Justice and formerly chief economist for the U.S. Sentencing Commission. I've had research and teaching positions at Yale, Stanford, University of Chicago, and the Wharton Business School. There's no serious cost-benefit analysis that I've seen of this law. My concern is that the net effect is going to actually be to harm people. If my research convinces me of anything, the people who benefit the most from owning guns are the most vulnerable people in our society. They tend to be the people who are most likely victims of violent crime. That overwhelmingly tends to be poor blacks who live in high crime urban areas and people who are relatively weaker physically, women and the elderly. The costs of the permits here, $150, but that's only going to be part of the cost. Looking at other states that have concealed carry permit training requirements, my guess is the cost will be $200 or more for the training. So you're talking about $350 or more to get the permit to own a gun. If you add it with the recent increases in concealed carry permits that you had last year, you're talking about near $500 for somebody to be able to get a gun and be able to go and carry it. Who do you think you're stopping? You're not stopping wealthy whites who may live in the suburbs. You're going to be stopping the very people who need them the most for protection, poor blacks who live in high crime urban areas. Talk about the delay that's here, 60 days. That's only part of the delay. You have to go through the process to go and get the training. If you look at other states, you're going to be talking about 30 days, maybe 60 days from when you sign up before when you're going to be able to get the training. That means the total delay plus the 72 hours that was mentioned. You may be talking about 4 or 5 months before somebody's able to get it. If a woman's being stalked or threatened, she's going to have to wait that long before she's going to be able to go and defend herself. You have the registration system here. We have states that have had licensing and registration for decades, and they cannot point to one single crime that's been solved, but it's cost them tens of millions of dollars. In Hawaii, Honolulu alone estimates that they spend 50,000 hours worth of police time each year in going and running their licensing and registration process. New York and Maryland, New York spent $40 million over 15 years running their licensing, registration, ballistic fingerprinting. That was $40 million that didn't solve any crimes. New York got rid of it because they couldn't point to one single crime that the licensing and registration had been able to solve.
Mr. Lott, I need you to wrap up, and of course you can always supplement with written
Well, but you're not allowing any questions or anything here, and you wouldn't let me. Okay, fine. But the bottom line, there are other things. There's constitutional challenges that could be here that I'd be happy to go into that haven't been talked about. But the people who are going to be harmed are the most vulnerable people in your society.
Larry Elder here. The current administration's policies have continued to wreak havoc on our economy, and it's becoming even more urgent and frightening. And my friends at the Gold and Silver Summit want to help Americans escape this madness. As you know, we're in a severe banking crisis threatening all our financial security. There's no better time to own gold and silver. But what is the best way to do that? If you're considering buying gold or silver, then please attend this free Gold and Silver Summit. At the summit, you'll learn the #1 way to safeguard your wealth using gold and silver and how to bulletproof your retirement by setting up a gold and silver-backed IRA. This is a free event. You will not be sold anything. Instead, attendees can claim a special free gift. And right now, it seems almost every asset class is at risk. And precious metals might be the only safe haven, especially if you want to protect your money from the current administration's economic blunders. Reserve your free spot at the Gold and Silver Summit today at LarryGoldSummit.com and learn how to bulletproof your retirement. Do not miss out on this vital event. Register now for the Gold and Silver Summit. Go to LarryGoldSummit.com. That's LarryGoldSummit.com. Mic drop. That's why the Democrats did not want this man to testify. Now, the Oregon Republican Senate leader said in the last 6 weeks, get this, Lotz testified before the Colorado State Senate, the Vermont State Senate, the Maryland State Senate, the Tennessee State Senate, and the Michigan State House and Senate. And in December, Lott testified before the U.S. House Judiciary Committee. But the Democrats would not allow him to speak there in Oregon. Wow. Now, by the way, more people are killed every year by hammers than by so-called assault rifles. More are killed by hands, fists, feet, etc., than any kind of long gun rifles, of which assault weapons are just a small part. Christopher Tremoli, another frequent guest on my program, of the Washington Examiner recently wrote, and I'm quoting him, from 2015 to 2019, according to FBI homicide stats, an average of 315 people were killed annually by rifles. Some subset of those might be considered assault weapons. By comparison, hammers, a tool traditionally used for home improvement, were used in an average of 446 homicides per year, end of quote. That means it is time for hammer control. And that's the elder statement. Finally, attention white people, you are having a bad year.
Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? It is okay to be white.
No, that's not okay. It's terrible to be white.
No. Y'all got too much. Yeah, y'all got
Who
too much.
want to be white? That's awful.
No.
Okay, so why is that? Why is it not okay to be white?
Y'all have the race as a people. Y'all have done too much. I would rather, yeah, as a whole.
And it's a group of people.
Too much good or too much bad?
Too much bad.
The majority
White
is not.
is like bottom of the barrel, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's this.
If you need a family, you can come hang out with me. They may not see the real you, but that does not mean that you're not real. I love you very much.
How about no? How about no? Now, did you know that anyone can have a period?
Period poverty doesn't just affect women. Two-spirits, trans men, non-binary people, and genderqueer people can all have periods. And arguably, period poverty may be higher in these populations. Here's why. You ever seen a tampon dispenser or a box of free tampons in a men's bathroom? What about a period aisle not labeled feminine hygiene or pink boxes all around it? Periods can be a really tough and dangerous time for people that aren't cisgender women. So if you're donating period products or putting them out in your workplace or school, make sure they're in all bathrooms. Or at least that all people have access to these products. Because blood has no gender, baby.
TMI, TMI, TMI. Now, I know you like the show, so hit that like button, hit subscribe. We want to get our subscriptions up. And scroll down, get on our mailing list. That way you'll be able to get all of our videos, because every now and then, from time to time, YouTube has issues with our videos. To make sure you don't miss a single one, get on our mailing list. And you see that donate button? Hit that, throw a little something in the tip jar. Make sure we can continue giving you great, hard-hitting, candid programming. Finally, Larry with Epoch.com, Larry with EPOCH.com. I'm Larry Elder. This has been the Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times. Remember, we've got a country to save. I'll see you next time.